DJ Kode Red.
Hello world, it's your boy DJ Kode Red coming at you with another mixing tutorial. I'm here in my home studio in Detroit, Michigan, and today I got a good one for you. Today's track that we'll be mixing is called No Time. It's a song that I did with a good friend of mine, Dorian Dillard. Phenomenal vocalist. When I got him in the studio for our first track, the one we did, Eternity, he blew it out the water. And then we got in the studio again and made this other track, No Time, and he blew it out the water again. So shout outs to him. Whenever you get a chance, make sure you check it out. Our last track, Eternity, which is on all streaming platforms, and make sure you check out the No Time track, which we're gonna go in and get right into. So without further ado, let's get it popping. All right, so before we even start mixing, I just like to, go over the track so you can see what's really going on in it. So let's just listen to it.
Ain't got time for that.
Nah.
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time. I'm on my grind all of the time. And if you play with my dreams, you might get declined. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Cause I got dreams and they just ravish my mind. I'm on my grind to get what's mine. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for that.
Nah.
Ain't got time for that.
Nah.
Ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for that. Time for that. Ain't got time for that.
It's all about me this time. Yeah. My time. Yeah.
Ain't got time for that.
Nah. It's all about me this time. My time. It's my time. So I get on up, get out my way. It's all about my dreams, so I'm here all day. If you ain't got nothing good, you ain't got nothing to say. If it ain't about the dollars, why you coming to play? Cause I'm on my grind all of the time. And if you ain't got nothing for me, then you can stay off my line. Cause I ain't got time. Yeah. I ain't got time.
Ain't got time.
Okay, that gives you kind of a glimpse of what the track sounds like. And now what we'll go into is the mixing portion of the track, so you can see all of the changes and adjustments that I've made to make the track come true, or to get to that point. What I like to do is I like to start off my mixes with this SSL G bus compressor. And I put that right onto the master bus. And they have a Just Blaze setting that I use, preset. I trust Just Blaze. Just Blaze is one of my favorite producers, along with, a lot of the people from that camp, Kanye West, Young Guru. So I saw this, I tested it out, and I put that right onto my master bus, and I feed it into that compressor, and I adjust it. I adjust my settings based off of what's going on with that compressor. So we'll start with the first sound that we hear, which is the bass, and we'll solo this so you can hear what the bass sounds like. Now, if you look at my settings here, I got 3 items that make up this bass here. I got 3 items that make up the bass here, and we'll start with the first one. This one right here was a pretty good sound. And remember, not only did I mix the track, I also produced the track. So I'll give you some insight of what's going on inside my head while I am trying to produce the track. And we'll, you can see the mixing portion of it here. This one had a really nice sound to it. And then I heard this sound as well. And I like the way they both sound, but when I tried to mix them two together, it did not work. So what I did with this first bass is I rolled off everything under 102 hertz. So this is what it sounds like without the roll off. And if you're listening to this with a good pair of speakers or some headphones, you'll be able to hear the low end that I'm taking out. But this has some low end in it, and I really liked the way it sounded initially, but I wanted to add a different element to it. So I just rolled off everything under 102 hertz. And then I did some gain staging here, which I knocked off about 4 dB, 4.8 dB. And then I did the same thing with this EQ. I knocked off everything under 102, and we'll let you hear what that sounds like as well by itself. And then with the activated, you can hear the bass come through a little better. The sub, you hear the sub come through a little better. But the reason why I took off 102 dB is because I had a sub sound that I had messed with inside my Native Instruments program, and this is the sound that it had. It just sounded a little bigger, and I really like the sound of this sub. So what I did was I put this Voice of God from UAD Little Labs plugin right on it. I mixed it to my liking, which the frequencies that I wanted to take out and put on, and then I went to my gain staging tool and took out about 2 dB of that. And this is right here, this portion right here is me trying to make room for the kick, because the kick has to shine in this track because it's a house track. So the kick has to shine a little more in this track, and I had to take some things out of it and boost some things up so both would be able to be heard clearly in the track. And this is, where I had to make my changes. I boosted it up around 33 hertz. This is where I got some bottom in, and I'll let you hear it. See, when you have your headphones on or you're listening to it on monitors, you can hear the subtle changes that's going on with that. I boosted up around 91 hertz, and then I also boosted up around 138 hertz, and then you'll see a dip in the 64 hertz range, and that's because I wanted that kick to come in and shine, and this is where the kick usually has its shine in the mix. So after that, I did some more gain staging, and I knocked it down another dB, 0.92. And then I put on a compressor, but this compressor is for side chaining. And what I did here originally is when the kick comes through, and this is for later on in the mix, when the kicks comes through, that bass is gonna dip down maybe a couple of dB, so it can still shine, but the punch will still be there from the kick, and the sub will still be there from the bass. And what happens is I put all three of these together, and this is what it sounds like. So you got one bass is left 50, The other bass is right 50, and then the sub is right dead in the middle. And everything is coming together. So that takes care of that. We go over to the instruments. I got a pluck sound in here. And the pluck sound that I had sounded really good out the box. So I didn't do anything but put some gain staging on it. I took it down about 7 dB. And then what also ends up happening is I put a little bit of delay on it. And I have a ping pong delay. And then I put some reverb on it. I got a large round hall reverb. And then I got a small chamber reverb. And with that, let's see if we can get some notes in here and see if we can make this right. Go into that one. Is that the right one? Nope, that's the wrong one. Large round reverb. So you can hear what's going on. So I put that pluck melody inside. Right behind that, did just a little bit of processing with that so you can hear what's going on. And then I go over to my synth sound, and this is what my synth sound sounds like. Sounded really good out the box. So all I did was put a beat delay on it, and we'll let you listen to that. After I gain staged it, we put just a little beat delay on it. And I'll let you listen to it. Here it go right here. It's over there, ping is pinging back forward. So that has just a little bit of delay on it, nothing else. That actually is sitting in the middle. It didn't need anything else out of the box. It came pretty much quality and EQ'd. I got a guitar sounding here. We'll go later on because that's filtered. We look at that one, that's sitting right in the middle here. Didn't put any processing on it at all. It sounded really good coming out of the program. And if we're talking about instruments, that takes care of pretty much all my instruments. And that's sitting right there in the middle. And that takes pretty much care of all my instruments, bass and 2 pluck sounds. I mean, 2 sounds, bass, 3 sounds. We got something going on here. Oh, that's a piano. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the melody. I got a bass sound here. I got a pluck instrument. I got a synth that comes in. I got a guitar that comes in later. And there's nothing else but percussion. So let's get on right to percussion. We'll go into the drums. We got to start with the kick first. All right. I got 2 kicks going on in here. This one has some characteristics that I really like from that. And then the second kick actually adds some boom to it, some sub, some low end to it. And this is where the frequencies from the bass that I took out. This is where I have to boost those to make sure that these shine. So let's just look at the first kick and see what I did to the first kick here. I gain staged it so it could sit right in the mix. So I took about, you know, negative 3 dB of volume, and I just brought it down a little bit. And then because I wanted this kick to be a characteristic kick and the other kick to be a sub kick, I kind of took out some of these things. So the sub from the bass, I took that out at 33. I took out another frequency at 55, and I'll tell you why. Because I had to make room for the other kick. 91 dB was taken out, and 138 was taken out. And if you compare this bass, this kick if you compare this kick EQ to this sub EQ from the bass, you can see that 33 was taken out here, 33 was boosted here, okay? 91 was boosted here, 91 was taken out here. 136 was taken out here, 136 was boosted here. And the reason why we do that is because when these two instruments are playing together, we don't want them to clash with each other. So we had to take that out. Also, this kick had some high-end noises that I did not like, so I had to take out these frequencies at 2000. And that's pretty much it that I did with that kick. And that was this house kick, this just regular party kick that I got. And then the sub kick, this one has that boom to it, that boom, 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 that low end. You can see that's the baby right there. So what I end up having to do here is I had to gain stage it, and I took about 2 dB, 2.64 dB of volume. I brought it down, and this is where I boosted it up at about 55. And this is where I found it was gonna kick a little harder, and it was gonna let that's where I found that it would shine around there. So what I did was I put those two together to get that sound. And then what I did was I put them together on a bus track. I put my smack attack on, so some of the high end could shine around here. I didn't want too much high end because I wanted to be low. I wanted the low end to really shine in this track. I wanted that punchiness, that punch to come through. And in order for that punch to come through, I had to turn up the sub a little bit. Got a Pull Tech, and UAD has this Pull Tech EQ, which is phenomenal. I boosted it in the 60 hertz range, about 2 dB. Compressed it a little bit, and I think I got about 2 dB of compression, of gain reduction. And then it was something here in the mid range that I really didn't like. So I just pulled that down, gain staged it a little more, and pushed up the volume because I lost some volume when I did my compression. And this is what we came up with. And that's the kick that comes through. So now once we play it with those other instruments, this is kind of where the energy starts to come in. Now you can hear it. You can hear that sub and that high end. Next we'll go with the clap. The clap, I didn't do anything but a little gain staging for it, boosted it about 1.2 dB and put a little reverb on. This is what that sounds like. Hi-hat sounded pretty good, pretty simple hi-hat, nothing but some gain staging. I lowered it about 6 dB in volume. I needed something sharp, for a little sharper sound for my snare, my clap, so I had this rim shot that I found that works really, really well. And this is what that sounds like. Let's take the clap out. take this out too. And you can't really hear it. So let's just go all the way down, all the way down. That's what it sounds like. But when you add it with this clap, it adds a different character to it, right? Some of the little subtle changes that you make inside your track, it just adds different character to what it is that you're doing. So I add that clap, that rim shot there to give it a little more sound, and I had to lower it down about 70 dB because I didn't want that to clash with the clap. I wanted the clap to shine, and I didn't want this snare to like clash with it and be louder than the clap, because with house music, I think that, you know, sometimes when you got that clap, it sounds pretty good. Added a snap to it. Where's this? I move this over about 16 to the right. My snap, which is that, I move that over to the left, 27 to the left. And then I have a open hi-hat, and that's over to the right, 19 to the right, and all that has is a reverb on it. So together, without the vocals, this is what the track sounds like. Got the bass in coming in. And now we have instrumentation. It's very simple, but it does a lot. And you don't have to have all these extreme changes in production. You don't have to add the EQ to everything. You don't have to add the reverb to everything. It's just kind of like you just do what you want to do that make it sound right. And a lot of the sounds and a lot of it goes with sound selection and, you know, how you want it to sound inside your mix. Make sure you have the right sound selection, and you don't have to do much EQing and compressing when it comes to your mixing process. All right, so now we get right into the track, the percussion. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so now that we have the instrumentation track pretty much foundation, pretty much where we want it to be, it's now time to move over to the vocal portion of the track, where I will give you some tips and tricks on how I made the vocals come through the mix. So let's get into that. So now that we have mixed all of the instrumentation together, we'll move right into the vocal portion of it. And this is where it gets very, very fun and technical, because you want for me, I want the vocals to shine. I want the vocals to be what you hear in the track. I love the instrumentation and I love the production of the instrumentation, but I like for the vocals to shine. And we'll start with Dorian here, and I'll just show you what I went
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time.
Oh man, he sounds so good.
I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time.
All right, so what I did with Dorian vocals is, this is my vocal chain. I started off with my auto tune, and I made sure that it was in the right key. And I put a little auto tune on his vocals, because he already has great vocals. I'm just adding it because the processing that goes on with this auto tune and Terry's, I think that's how it is. They have the best processing thus far that I've been able to experiment with. So I really enjoy the processing that goes on with Terry. So I did a little bit of auto tune on his vocals. I put an SSL from Waves EQ on here, channel EQ, and I rolled off anything up under 174, and that's because, you know, I don't want a lot of sub inside his vocals, because we already want the sub to be with the bass and the kick. So it's already a lot of information going on down there. So we kind of take that out. About 8,000. I'll go ahead and boost it about 3.7 dB. And that gives you like a little crispness, if that's the right word. And I'll show you.
I'm on my grind.
You can hear that high-pitched crispness.
And if you play with my dreams, you might get
so I just raised that a little dB. 3.7 dB, and I think it was something in the 2,000 range that I really didn't like, 2,000 frequency. So I went ahead and dipped that down, and then there was something in the 300 range that I didn't like, so I dipped that down a little bit. And we went there with that. I added another precision EQ from Fab Filter. This one right here, I dipped down in the 243 range and also the 7,000 range. There were some things that was going on in his vocals that I really didn't like, so I went ahead and dipped that down. After that, I put on a compressor. This is a CLA 76 from Waves compressor. I love what it does to the vocals. It adds a different character to the vocals. Along with that SSL channel, it adds a whole different character to the vocals. And then I also compress it a little more. Now, sometimes you have to, for my style of processing, you have to add these other, you're probably saying, well, why didn't you just do all the compressor with one EQ and do all the EQing with one EQ and do all the compressor with one compressor? And that's because sometimes you have to, sometimes I have to get the correct sound that I'm looking for. I have to add these other elements to it because they all sound different. So I add these other elements to it to get a certain type of sound. Okay, and if I have to add 8 compressors, I'll add 8 compressors. If I have to add 8 reverbs, I'll add 8 reverbs. Like, I'm trying to get a certain sound, and in order for me to get that certain sound, I have to add these other EQs to it. So I got everything on there, and this is what it comes up with.
I ain't got time, 'cause I got dreams and they just ravish my mind. I'm on my grind.
Next thing I do is I put on a bus compressor, I put the CLA 76 on here. This thing is, Chris Lore Algae plugin on here, CLA vocals. This thing is amazing. It's from Waves. It brightens up the vocals. It makes it shine. And to give you an example, this is what it sounds like without it.
Grind to get what's.
And let me see what it sounds like with it on. Let me see what where are you? What's on here? No, that's not it. This is right here.
What's mine?
That's without it?
I ain't got time.
I ain't got time.
I ain't got time for that.
Where is that damn thing at? Oh, that's because all of this other stuff was on here, ain't it?
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time. I'm on my.
So here's what it sounds like without it.
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time. I'm on my grind all of the time. And if you play with my dreams, you might get declined. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. 'Cause I got dreams and they just ravish my mind. I'm on my grind to get what's mine. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for that.
So that's what it does. It just brightens it up so you can hear all of the goodness and the polishing that it does. Moving right along. Once I put the CLA on that thing, I go ahead and move that to a bus compressor where I get Dorian's vocals on one single track, and I add some reverb to it. On this one, I got an H reverb with a warm plate on it. I got a H delay with a 1/4 timing on it. I have another H delay with a 1/2 with a half timing on it, and ping pong this thing. And then I have another delay on it, and this is for a certain portion of the song. So, like I said earlier, I got three delays to get the certain effect that I'm looking for. So, make sure you understand that you can get all of these delays, get all of these effects on here. And you can put all this processing on there to get the certain type of effect that you're looking for. So that's what I did
I ain't got time for people playing with my
Dorian's
mind.
vocals to get it to here. And then when we put it inside the mix, this is what it sounds like all together.
I ain't got time for people playing with my mind.
Hear it?
I ain't got time for people playing with my
And the vocals are shining.
I'm on my grind all of the time. And if you play with my dreams, you might get declined. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. 'Cause I got dreams and they
Little
just
auto-tone.
ravish my mind.
The delay you can't really hear.
To get what's mine. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for that.
And now what I have to show you is, the ad libs, which is coming. They have that, they are in the background. They're like background vocals. So the ad libs are gonna come in. And this is how I put that processing together. Same thing I did with Dorian. I put in the auto tune just because it's got a certain sound to it. I did the SSL channel EQ, which I did the same thing, rolled off anything under 120, boosted it around 8,000. I took away something in the 300. And then I added a CLA 76 compressor to it for character. I did the CLA on these vocals. I put those onto a bus channel. And what I had to do with this one is, once it's on the bus channel, I did the EQ here where I did the telephone EQ effect. And what that does is it gives you that faint sound like it's coming through a telephone. And then right here is the secret sauce for the way the vocals come through, and they are being, if you listen to it, one vocal will be over here, and then the next time the vocal will be in the left ear, and This one right here is a S1 imager, stereo imager from Waves. And the key thing here to make the vocals bounce back and forth is automation. And this gives you a visual representation of what's going on inside the headphones when I set the automation. So just check this right here, this dial.
Nah.
I'm automating that and I move that to the next ear. Left, go back to the right.
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for people playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time. I'm on my grind all of the time.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to solo that.
Let's go. Come on.
As you can see, it's going from left to right, left to right.
Let's go.
Also, I got a reverb on here, parking deck reverb. I like things to sound big. I got another reverb, a huge verb reverb off this H reverb from Waves. I've got a beat delay on this vocals, so that's ping ponging back and forth. And then I also have another beat delay. So one is 1/4 and one is 1/2. So that's what the beat delay sounds like, and that's how you get the effect that you're hearing.
I ain't got time for that.
So now we can listen to that inside the mix. Let's unsolo all of this and see what it sounds like.
Nah.
That's the ad-libs.
Ain't got time for that. I ain't got time.
Remember,
for
it's being
people
automated.
playing with my mind. I ain't got time for people playing with my time. I'm on my grind all of the time.
Let's go.
And if you play with my dreams, you might get declined. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Cause I got dreams and they just ravish my mind. I'm on my grind to get what's mine. I ain't got time.
Let's go.
I ain't got time for that.
And then what we do is we look at this filter here that's going on inside the middle of the track. And that is also automation. That's automated as well. Let me find out where that automation is. That filter automation. And right here, I put everything onto a bus channel that I wanted to filter. And then more automation, because automation is very important. What I did was I automated the frequencies up. So then as it sounds muffled, when you automate it and you start going through the track, it starts to clear up and you can start hearing all the instruments again. And this right here will show you the visual representation of what it looks like when it automates it. So here's what it engaged.
Got time for that.
Now you see it's starting to clear up.
Time for that. Ain't got time for that.
And then once it's clear, we get back to the verse. And then last but not least is my vocals. My vocals, same process. Auto-tune it up first. Put the auto tune on it, SSL, E channel, G channel, CLA, put the Chris Lore Algae vocal plug-in on it, CLA compressor, CLA 76 compressor. Bust that together, added a little bit of volume to it with some reverb, some delays. And this is what it sounds like coming off of the filter.
Ain't got time for
Nah. Nah.
time for
And then some of the direction that I went in with Dorian's vocals are down here. Let's push that up a little bit so you can see it. Some of the direction I went in with the vocals, I wanted to pan these vocals, and have them playing, have them like ear candy later on in the mix. So
ain't got time for
Nah.
so I added these ad-libs to it so you can hear it
time for
while I'm coming
ain't
in
got time for that.
for my verse.
It's all about me this time. Yeah. My time, my time, my time. Yeah.
Ain't got time for that.
Nah. It's all about me this time. My time, my time, my time.
Ain't got
It's my time. So I get on up, get out my way. It's all about my dreams.
And that's pretty much it, right? The instrumentation is pretty simple. The vocals are pretty crisp, they're loud. And now what I have to do is I have to make sure I have enough room for the mastering process so I can get it as loud as I want to get it, but without distorting it and without destroying what I've done in the mixing stage. And if we go back to my G compressor,
So I'm here all day. If you ain't got nothing good, you ain't got
I'm
nothing to
almost
say.
hitting it
If
at
it ain't about the dollars, why you coming to
hitting it
play?
around
Cause
negative
I'm on my
4
grind.
dB of gain reduction. And to me, it's okay because I'm not losing anything, right? The kick is strong, but it's not, squashing the kick and distorting it. So as of right now, everything is good. The mix is where I want it to be, and then I'll send it over to my mastering process, and it will sound a little bit louder. And there's small tweaks that will go inside of the mastering phase, so it's not a lot of tweaking that goes on inside that mastering phase, but it gets ready for commercial distribution. Now, with that being said, this track right here, No Time, is on all streaming platforms. So go make sure you check it out. DJ Kode Red on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Pandora, wherever. Make sure you check it out. It's a crazy track. I love it. It's a house track. It makes your body move. And I'll see you on the next one. I love y'all. Stay cool. It's your boy DJ Kode Red signing out. Peace.